Hello, I'm Chex Max. I wanted to go through my whole album and talk about the themes of the album and the lyrics, and maybe do a little bit of some breakdown on some production stuff. Yeah, let's start from the beginning. So I started this album right after I released My World in Color, which was about 1.5 years ago. Immediately after I made that, I made the next song, It's Our Time. And the album was supposed to be done like a few months after It's Our Time, which is why I put it out in January. But that did not happen because I switched a lot of things. My style switched a lot. I got more into the hip hop beat type stuff, I guess, sampling, whatever. So I spent a lot of time over the year just experimenting. And these are still unfinished songs that I was planning to put on the album. And within this, I had like 72-ish just ideas of songs too that I was working with. I was just making a ton of stuff. It eventually, around September, I was like, okay man, I gotta finish this. And that's when I finished AWOL, which we'll talk about more, but that song took me about a month to like perfect the way I wanted it. And then December, I had finished a few more songs, like 1 or 2. And then 2025, just in like January and February, I was just finishing songs as much as I could. And that's where the whole album basically got finished, which is weird. But yeah, you just have to force yourself to just finish some songs. I had the idea for an album based on the egg theory, I think it's called, where you're born, you live a life, you die, and then you get reborn as someone else. And you go through every person's life on Earth, every single person. Obviously that would take forever, right? But the concept is that you're living through everyone's eyes. It's putting you right in their shoes. And to me, that's the same type of like vibe as the golden rule. Treat other people how you want to be treated. That's kind of like the overall arching theme of the album. My original concept was going to be based off Erik Erikson's 8 stages of life, where you have like 2 different choices of like whether this thing happens at this age or this thing, and that kind of like changes how your life rolls out, sort of. That was kind of like my idea at the beginning. And the concept of rebirth and the cycle of life is still in the album. The end of AWOL is kind of up to interpretation, but it loops perfectly back to Sapling with the birds chirping. I know it's not the smoothest transition, but I don't really care. You get the point. It's just some birds. But I think I messed up the sound of it, just the gain or something. The album's about just living. And I know that sounds cliche or weird to say or stupid, but it's just about being alive and doing like treating people how you want to be treated. There's a lot of themes. Sapling, was this the last song I finished? This was one of the last. And it was, I think, the second song I made after It's Our Time. So this song took me a long time. I wanted to have a good intro. It's not exactly what I meant it to be, but that's what makes it cool. And I kind of wanted it to be a warm opening intro, just like you're being like born. And like nature, that's why there's the birds chirping at the beginning here. And like that, like mystical, shiny stuff. Yeah, I like it a lot. And it was kind of inspired by Yellow with the slide guitar and all that. It's supposed to be like, you just got reborn. Why do you even care for another life? Why'd you come back? And then me talking like, give me another shot at life, and this time I'll do better. This time I'll reach for my dreams more. I'll put 100% effort in. And I think a lot of us can relate to that. Yeah, most of the lyrics are pretty explanatory. There's a lot of guitar heavy detuned stuff inspired by Quadeca, some drum breaky stuff, some lyrics. Production on the whole album and in the lyrics in general, let me say, I'm aware of my S's, sibilants. I tried so hard fixing that, and I'm still working on my speech to get it clearer. And yeah, it bugs me a lot when I listen to it. So if you've noticed that, I understand as well. And yeah, this has like both the mix of like the rappy and the singing stuff. We start all over. It's hard saying I like rap in general enough because people judge you for it, especially where I live in Utah. So I wanted to have a nice warm introduction for people, and hopefully people will give it their ear and sit down and listen to it. So that's kind of the process of this song. The ending is pretty cool. I had no idea I was gonna make this weird beat at the end. And it was originally just going to fade out with the da, 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 over and over again. But then I was messing around and I was like, this is kind of cool. Something about it's missing that like low endness to make it feel full a little bit. But I was at a point where I was like, I just need to get this done. And shout out to my brother, MS Zane, for mastering Sapling and Spirit Box, because he definitely helped with a lot of this stuff. Yeah, shout out to him for mastering this song. That was great. And I think it helped with this ending too. Most of my drums that I do are just programmed in by me by hand, and I try to make them feel more natural by putting them off the grid and stuff, but I don't know, sometimes it depends. All the shimmery and like this stuff, there's a few instances of that. I'll make a fake like master bus, and then I'll just add like it's like a stretcher, and that's how there's some of those cool sounds. I think that's on Translucent Bodies as well. And then the extended version, if you've heard this, it has this cool beat. I was messing around, it's the exact same beat as over here. Yeah, same beat as over there, but just whole different vibe and mood to it. So I guess that's kind of it for Sapling. I already spent 13 minutes talking about the first song. Okay, next song is Sirens. I wanted to just name it Sirens, but I had too many songs that started with S. So I named it Pre-Sirius, or the most visible star from Earth, which kind of relates to the lyrics. But this song I also had for a long time, I think around the same as Sapling. My main goal when I was rapping on this was just to have fun and shout out some people I love, like Peggy. Yeah, the beat's definitely JPEG Mafia inspired. Same as the lyrics, tons of ambience. This is just a fun hook. I was like, whatever. I guess it's about like people trying to act hard on the internet. It's kind of funny. I know this is really stupid, but the pilot episode of Atlanta, one of my favorite TV shows, is called The Big Bang. And that's a slight reference right there. Okay, here's another reference of some of my favorite stuff, just in general. Door, Nick, Limboland, amazing album. I have it back there in my collection. Yeah, I guess most of the songs is me kind of being a little confident, maybe too confident after I'm born, but just hoping I'm gonna, like, just watch me and watch what I'll become. Pineal gland. I did my research before putting this in the lyrics, because I've heard people call it pineal, even pineal. I don't know. Whatever. If I pronounced it wrong, I'm sorry. I watched like 20 videos that are like, this is how you pronounce pineal. And they're all different, and all the comments are mad at each other, so I probably said it wrong. I also teach and play guitar a lot. I had to teach a student banana pancakes for like 10 months, and he just never practiced, and we never got anywhere with it. And I was like, do you want to try something else? And he was dead stuck on learning this song. But I'm like, dude, you're not practicing. You're not going to get it if you don't practice. So whatever. That was just a funny little lyric. Don't actually quit. If you're trying for like 9-10 months, don't give up. Keep trying. I don't really care. This song was, again, just kind of for fun until the end, which is where the album starts taking a more serious turn. But at the end, I'm kind of getting pissed off by that boy in the Oval Office. Some of you can figure out what book club means. Anyway, there's a few lyrical references to offering more fate. Again, as I was saying in the beginning, it means to like be human, like have some empathy. There you go. There's There's the meaning to that. My favorite part of the song is the bass that comes in right here. Let's talk about the next song. I really wanted this song to have the upside down text, which it does on Bandcamp. One of my favorite games I played recently, Inside. The lyrics I took so many attempts on trying to fix that sound. I like the drums a lot. Kind of Sampha inspired. Ton of extra stuff that I wanted to add, which was more Sampha sounding. We don't want to hear this. Shout out to Zane again. He always helps me with some piano stuff. I guess I was thinking in concept of the album, I have all this confidence and I'm born, and now I'm starting to ask questions like, why are we like this as humans? And why does the world work the way it does, I guess? I know the hook isn't super representative of that. And my original idea was to have the song written from the point of view of the earth, asking questions to its humans who inhabit it about why has it become this way. Yeah, looking for some hope. There's a lot of references to religion in the album again, and God and stuff, but most of it's out of confusion or questioning. Yeah, overall just expressing dismay and confusion. A lot of problems seem just fixable, but you know, there's those people up there on top who got the keys to unlock the lock and they don't. And trust me, if I get rich one day, I'm gonna be giving all that shit back. Speaking on the end of the world, the demise that kind of seems near based off all the stuff going on currently. Yeah, what's gonna happen when we use up our final sprout? Like seriously, yo, we go into a world of Wall-E. But lately all this thinking's got me feeling burnt out. That's very true. Thinking about all the stuff, the negativity in the world can burn you out. And I did look up thinkings, and apparently that's a word that you can actually use in some situations. So, all right, the next song, 22.5% Human. This song, throwback to my first album, Lost. If you don't know what that album's about, it's about me being lost, specifically with my music, which is why it's such a weird, cluttered mess. There's a song called 19.10. At that time in my life, I think it was 18. Took the average age, divided it by that, and I got 19.10% or whatever. I don't remember exactly. Wait, I'm 18 right now. I was 16, 15. I don't know. I don't remember. But I somehow divided that. I got 19.10, and I guess that was like 20% of my life is like gone, like done. I'm through 20%, 19.10% of my life. And then I did the same thing again with this song when I was choosing the title. I had no title for the song. I wasn't even going to put this on the album because it's just like this ambient mess, and has like a sad tone. A lot of the songs do have a sad tone, but that's okay. So I did the same thing for this, 18 now, almost 19. And I took the average age, whatever, divided it, 22.5%. But it also, to people who don't know that, which is everyone, it's another reference to offering fate and empathy. Well, thank you also if you're watching this far into the video. So the whole track started with this thing I made. And this was originally sped up, so that's on my Bandcamp. And then I added tons of other ambientness and the drum stuff at the beginning, which is kind of cool. Very Injury Reserve inspired type of stuff. Yeah, this song's all kind of like a depression song, I guess. All on social media, doom scrolling. Yeah, the production's kind of cool. I like it. There's this big explosion in the middle. And then the very last bit was a completely different song thing that I made from a sample of this song. Sped up and then slow down. And then I put it back in here, slow down again. Yeah, there's those. The first hook is like talking about my younger self, accepting that you're getting older, being afraid that you might disappoint your younger self. Human fly, Little Ugly Mane reference. I start to imagine all the futures I could have had if it wasn't you and I. Again, talking to myself, my younger self mainly. Same thing, last year's New Year resolution was to finish this album. Being a little down in the dumps about time and hoping that you'll live up to your own expectations. That's mainly what the song is about. Talking about no matter what I try to do tomorrow, it feels like I'm just not even making progress. But sometimes you have to take a step back and look at how much you have done in the past. After a long time, it can be a lot. Maggot Brain, amazing album. Can you get to that? Yeah, where my story ends but begins the same. Again, a reference to that rebirth. Give me another shot at life. Let me do better. Let me invest in a house when I'm 5 years old. All I want in my life is to have my own house. That's all I want. And in order to do that, you need some money. And in the current state that we're in right now, honestly, that seems like a hard thing to kind of achieve. Minorities see the majority as NPCs. We're nothing to people that have money, but just workers and people that don't have real lives. We're nothing to them. We could really have a great world if we just had some empathy. I guess that's all this album's about. So there you go. We're all the same. We're all human. And then the last part, talking about my insecurities and wanting to rap and just make music in general and put myself out there. Yeah, pretty explanatory. Honestly, most of the lyrics are, but there's just some things that I like and that I wanted to talk about. We're going to move on from this finally because it's been 50 minutes. The next one, Translucent Bodies. This is definitely one of my most vulnerable songs. And before, even though I put in the lyrics, I already know there's going to be misinterpretations of everything I say on this. First lyric is the main reason why there's going to be misinterpretations of this. I'm more than a boyfriend. This is not exactly about a specific relationship that I'm in. It's about relationships in general and how you're viewed different as yourself and as a human being after you get in a relationship, in my opinion. So let me start by saying that. Shout out to my bro again, MS Zane. First song on his album, Inertia. This ambient, beautiful piece, and I was like, hey, I want to use this, and can I get the stems and stuff? And he was like, yeah, sure. And then I built the drums and stuff, which I love. It's got that cool delay sound. Then there's like the other drum beat here. Definitely Devon Hendrix inspired. They overlap pretty cool. And then we got all the George Clanton inspired for sure. Hell yeah. I really like the instrumental on this song. It has a lot of like depth to it, in my opinion. A lot of emotion behind it. Okay, there's so many cool samples in this too. I'm not gonna give them away, but the boyfriend thing, Devon Hendrix inspired Charlie Baltimore song. You'll figure it out from there if you're curious about that. Okay, there's 3 samples right here that I just played that are cool. Okay, I don't think I did this on purpose to copy Arm & Hammer, or The Alchemist, I guess. On Haram, Falling Out of the Sky, there's a small part that has this underwater effect, and I was like, that's cool. I think I did this before I even heard that in the song. I don't think I was ever listening that deep to that part. But yeah, you could say it's inspired by that record. And then the lyrics relate to that drowning sense from the other point of view, which we'll talk about in a second. Yeah, pretty cool. I'm a fan of that part. Oh, here's another stretching part. I'm pretty certain that no one's going to be able to figure out this sample, so I'll talk about it. Well, first of all, there's these cool drills. Big decision on whether I should cover those with more stuff, which I did, kind of. And then, I know no one's going to find this, but it's so cool. Shout out my good friend Sam Silva, also a good piano player, great piano player. He showed me this. It's a Herbie Hancock live in Tokyo of a Chameleon, and there's this one part in it where he does this. And I've always wanted to use that in a song somewhere. I had no idea where. I didn't think it would fit in this song, but without it, it sounds so weird. It sounds like something's missing, and it's this. Yeah. So it's cool. I like that a lot. Not too much else on the production. Oh! There's some McGee sample in here. I don't even know if I should be saying all these samples right now. I'll probably cut most of this out. That's all the hint I'm gonna give on that. All the screams at the beginning kind of puts you in a weird mood and a weird feeling. And like a vulnerable state, I guess. I just thought it sounded kind of cool and was strange. Get you to listen to it. There's more at the end. Beautiful synthy stuff from Zayn. Just, again, from his song. Oh man. The extra beat here is like, it's whatever. I just threw it in on the extended because I was like, why not? More lyrics. We haven't even discussed the lyrics. I forgot. I was talking about the lyrics and then I got off track. This was kind of inspired by Kendrick's We Cry Together, viewing whatever, back and forth. The first verse is like from the boyfriend's POV, myself. The main reason I made this song, I know this sounds selfish, but like sometimes you feel like you don't even get recognized as a human being because people are so focused on your relationship. That can be okay, that can be great sometimes too, but it was frustrating at the moment and the way I was feeling. So that's when I wrote this. And the worst part is like it's fighting for yourself with your best friend to feel acknowledged as a human being. Yeah, most of the lyrics are explanatory. This is not a diss to my loved ones, not a diss to anyone close, not to my family or anyone like that. I'm talking about trust issues I've had, some horrible chess references. Anyway, I know it sounds kind of stupid, but that's how I was feeling. The middle of the verse is dealing with conflicts. Here's the other POV, More Than Girlfriend. Drain Counter is a slight reference to Little Ugly Mane, Oblivion Access. I got some horrible math bars. I got the hook thing here from Devon Hendricks. It's in the background, but no, I'm not dissing anyone I love. I was simply expressing my feelings. The Red Hero, on the other hand, has a lot of lyrics to discuss. For those who are wondering what the bleeped word is at the beginning, I will tell you it's in relation to learning, or a concept of where you learn things on a high level. Again, frustration with the world as it is right now. I love this line. I understand the want to be heard. That's why you pay me. This line I have like 3 different interpretations of. 1, because I'm an artist and I want my music to be heard. 2, it's saying it in a way of people wanting to be heard. Therefore, they'll go to church. They'll pay people to listen to them. Not even just church. It could be anywhere. Any conference thing like that. Everyone wants to be heard. Everyone wants to feel heard. And then the 3rd is like, I understand the want to be heard, POV of someone who's listening to you, but pay me. Then I'll let you talk. That was my idea there. I just found it kind of funny. I don't really have to explain any of this. It's not like it's that deep. I just think some of it's kind of fun. Scam is a little bit of a overused word in this song. Perfection is a scam. Again, this was written at the end of my album process, and I was done. I just want to get stuff out, man. It's so hard to write lyrics that fit the way I wanted to, or panning something just a little bit. So sick of wasting time over meaningless pans, because like, is anyone even going to listen to this? Does it serve any purpose besides satisfying myself? And maybe I'm just trying too much to make it this perfect album. And more Devon Hendricks reference. There is a meaning to the title, which is expressed by the instrumental. And I want to see if people can figure that out one day, because I'm not going to talk about it. So, oh yeah, the Billy Woods reference at the end. Well, the sample. Great song. Checkpoints. Hiding places. Okay. Spirit Box. The intro is a great reference to the meaning of the song, and I took that from Animal Collective. Spirit Be Gone. Amazing record. Very cool. And I love that intro. Also, this song I was just messing around on the guitar, and I kind of made kind of a cool chord progression, and then I was like, I guess I'll actually try to flesh this out a little bit. And yeah, that's how it came to this song. This song is me from the future. So instead of me from the past, like in Why Does, this is me in the future talking about myself and trying to give me advice, I guess. Most of the lyrics make sense, but basically saying don't waste your time and just do what you want to do. Because I'm in the future, and maybe you're there, maybe you're not. Yeah, most of the rapping verse is kind of just my frustration again on some topics of Earth and about how limited our time is. Talking about social media, the endless scroll, and how you're just basically standing on the edge of a cliff, and you're just a step away from falling to your death every day, and this is how you choose to live it. Like, imagine tomorrow you were gonna die. Would you really spend all of today scrolling on your phone for 8 hours? Yeah, and most of the songs directed at myself, I guess. The frustration, at least within that. Also, have you seen those things that are it's like a poster, whatever, it's like a calendar that checks off how many weeks you've lived and how many you'll theoretically have left? Yeah, that shit's scary. And there's a reference to that in there. Okay, next song we do have to look at the production on. This song is inspired by two amazing songs. First one, Kelly Lee Owens' Melt by off her album Inner Songs. Amazing, awesome song. I've never heard anything like that. It's so good. And then Quadeca's Scrapyard, the song Being Yourself. Yeah, that song inspired it a little bit more with like the instrumental at the beginning, the bells and stuff. But I love this song. It's so cool. Yeah, the song's about accepting all the worries you have, all your emotions, and accepting that sometimes things are the way they are, even if there's not a good reason for it. And I guess after all the frustration of the album and the other things I've talked about, accepting it and accepting yourself. So that's why it comes later in the track list, even though I made this before most of the other songs. Yeah, I don't know. It's recording, right? Yeah. Love the bass. The auto-tune vocal type of stuff, sick. This is the first take I did on it, and I could not recreate it to make it sound anything like that. So I just kept it that way. Right here. I've been searching for you. Talking about myself. You know, you're trying to find yourself. You can tell this is an older project too, because I didn't color anything. Any of the channels. Here's that awesome stretch stuff again. A lot of these lyrics in here are references to my first album, Lost, again. I'll go through that in a minute. Yeah, it keeps building, kind of like Kelly Lee Owens thing. Anyway, I was overall just really happy with the production on this. I thought it's cool. Okay, I've been lost since 22. Referencing my album date that it came out in 2022, and also that I might be lost in the future when I'm 22 years old, and the fear of that. Look over there is another song reference. Story was over is another song reference. Basically I'm trying to say, take a break and I don't laugh like I used to. Tons of song references from the album, which is kind of cool. Burial is a song reference. Same as Disorient, I think. Maybe not. I don't mean to haunt you alone. I didn't mean to haunt you. Quadeca reference. Travel around the globe in my dreams since I'm 19. I'm still not 19, but I will be in a month, and it's scary because I wish. I just want to travel and play my music. 19.10. There's that number again. Operation Escape Plan. Divorce the audience. I'm done making music that I think people will like, and instead I'm just making what I like. Getting kind of mad at those songs that are like, my brother records a lot of bands and like local bands, and they're kind of young, and oh my god, 99% of the songs that they make are all like, I know you don't like me anymore, but I liked you a lot, and I'm sad now that you don't like me. And then you ask them like, why did this girl like not like you back or like break up with you, and they're like I don't know. And then I heard the POV of the girl who said why they broke up with them, and they're like, oh yeah, he was a total dick. And then they go and make this song like being all sappy and emo, like, oh guys, she dumped me, I don't know what I did. Why don't you think about it for a little bit? Why don't you think about what you did? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that's what that lyric is. Empathy is one. Why not start with that? Again, a lot of this album is about empathy. The world needs more love, and it's simply a fact. And I hope that none of these lyrics are perceived as like negative to anything really, except for rich people. Like, I'm talking like rich people, like, you know, the billionaires. I'm gonna say this, but I'm not gonna give out the secret. Eye of the hands, letters hide in the gloves. Please, someone figure this out. I will give you a free shirt. Don't think about it too hard. It's something prominent that you can look at, and you'll have to dig through the background a little bit. God of the Gaps is kind of a cool reference. The last part of the second half is this song's about escaping from reality, and to me, it's making music and is listening to really great music. Should probably work on saving money. That might be smart. But I got Injury Reserve's discography saved in my cart. I got the whole discography back there. I got it for a good price, actually, way cheaper than they sold it, which was kind of impressive. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, Injury Reserve, amazing. By the time I get to Phoenix is amazing. Their self-title's amazing. I love everything they've done. By Storm is amazing. Richie, I got your album back there too somewhere. Amazing music. But one of their biggest songs that stuck to me, Superman That. Amazing song. That song, every time I hear it, this is the one song that I've never heard. I even already said this before. This is one of the songs that like you'll never hear anything like that. Like you haven't. It's so crazy. Anyway, just talking about really, really good music makes me feel so good. Sometimes it bugs me when people are like, yo, that sounds so fire. It's fire, bro. Why you gotta say it like that? Just say it sounds good. Attempt to copy like my name is Brent. Brent Rivera. Love you, buddy. Try to recreate that feeling, but I can't. I really attempted to copy Superman That to see if I could create anything even close to that. Nah. Nope. Yeah, those two verses are mainly about, well, that section. I don't even know if you can call that a verse. No, I cannot recreate anything close to that feeling that song gives me right now. Not yet. Hopefully one day I can. Can't get anything to sit right. I'm up fixing the mix until this midnight. The end of the verse here is all just fun. Getting my confidence back kind of a little bit after the darkness of the album. Well, the sad parts, I guess. Can't get anything to sit right. I'll be up late trying to fix, especially on this song alone, I was trying to fix the mix so much to get it to sound pretty decent. I'm scared for the day to come, waiting for the reaper. I'm trying to dig deeper and deeper. being scared about death a little bit. 999, angel numbers, something like that. I don't remember what that means. Got some down a sign in the back, ready human design. Here's another math bar that I got from Childish Gambino's camp backpackers who used the cosign lyric. Okay, it is our time. This is the song that describes you're ready to die. Oh, maybe you're not, but it's your time. And now you gotta go. It uses the same idea kind of from like Midsummer, when you're born in spring and then you go all the way around the seasons to winter and now you're gone. That's what the chorus means. That's also what I'm representing with the album release date, which luckily I haven't finished by now because this is what I wanted to do a year ago. I wanted to put it out on the first day of spring, which I believe is the 20th of March, and like at 5 a.m. or something. And that worked pretty well for Bandcamp because that's a Thursday. But this week I'm putting it out on the 21st because Friday, apparently things do better on Friday. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of what the representation of the album date coming out is supposed to mean. I love you, fate. That line is saying the part about living that gives it its meaning is that you're going to die. And everyone always be talking about, oh, you're talking about death in your lyrics. Are you sad? Are you depressed? No. I'm just realizing the reality of the situation. If you never died, would you ever do anything in your life? If you couldn't die, you could live forever, you had ample time. I don't think I would. I wouldn't have any reason to do anything if I had ample time. I could do it tomorrow and do that every day, whenever I wanted. And it's the beauty that the limitation of time that you have in your life that gives it meaning. So that's what that lyric means. I love you, fate. It's because you give my life meaning, I guess. I explained that better when I said it 30 minutes ago, but I lost that footage. So there's the idea of in this song, I'm in that moment, but there's also the idea of this song is expressing how I'll feel in that moment based off right now. So right now, maybe I'm scared to die, which is kind of expressed by this, or maybe not scared, but maybe in this moment I'm worried that I haven't found my true self, or my sound, or my potential, or something like that. And that's kind of what the pathway means. Like, I hope he made its way to me, my path. I hope that makes sense. It will make more sense when we talk about AWOL, which is one of the best songs I've made, I think. I love this instrumental. I have a lot to say about it, but we'll talk about the lyrics for a second. The first half of the song is about me in that moment. I've died, and I've been coming to terms with death for so long, and accepting that longing view. And there's so much time to think about it that maybe I'm overthinking everything. But anyway, here I am. I've died. And now that I'm in this moment, I'm not so scared. Maybe that's how I'll feel that day. Maybe that's the way I was thinking about it. I like this lyric. Watch me repeat in time the cycle of the album, going back to Sapling after this. And maybe I'll change the next time. Or maybe I'm the exact same. Repeat and change. Man, this is so hard to explain sometimes. That's what that first half means. And then in the instrumental, it breaks away from that guitar sound, goes to the synth stuff. And that second half of the song is supposed to represent like you're transcending to like heaven or something, or wherever you go. So you've died and you've accepted it now. And then you're transcending all the way to heaven. And in the instrumental, it builds and builds and builds. And there's these parts in it where it builds and then it will cut you back. It will it feels like a punch to the gut or something. It will cut back everything, like the mids and the highs. And it feels weird. It feels empty for a second. And then it all slowly comes back and builds. And it builds even more and it cuts back more. And then it builds again and it cuts. And then it builds one more last time. And then finally you're gone. And in the album version, the Offering Fate, just original album, it goes back to the birth of a new life, of yourself being reborn or something as someone else, whatever, that concept I talked about. So that's why there's the baby crying sound effect. And then it slowly goes away from that and we just hear the birds again, that nature and that the earth, the life kind of birthing you into existence, I guess. That was the idea of it. And the lyrics on this part, instead of being like exactly in the moment, it's me now in this moment thinking about how will I feel on that last day? maybe that one part of me accepted it, which I already talked about, or maybe I'm worried, how am I going to feel on that day? Will I feel the same as my very last day on earth as I do today? And isn't that so weird to think that you're going to live 60 years and then you're going to be in a bed one day and boom, lights out or whatever, right? It's weird. Anyway, that's one of the ideas. Another idea, which is kind of expressed through the instrumental version, although not very well, is after you transcend, you whatever, that all happens again. Instead of being reborn, it just cuts off and you're gone. Just flatline, blank, black. Just blank emptiness in space. Who knows? I don't think you can describe that. It doesn't exactly do that in the instrumental because I wanted to show off some extra stuff I added on the song. And then I was researching what heaven sounds like, and I came across that weird thing at the end, and I threw that in with some effects and stuff on it because I thought it sounded kind of cool as like a final goodbye. So that was like the other idea. So there's this idea that you get reborn and it loops around, and that's a way for me to trying to express the empathy that we should have for everyone else on the earth. And I guess that's kind of what the album's about. I think I've said everything that that cut out again. I might have missed a few things, but I'm pretty proud of it. I think it turned out well. It wasn't the way I thought it would be from the beginning, but that's fine. I hope that this inspires some people, I guess, or that you learn something. I don't even know. There you go. There's my interpretation of a lot of the album. Good luck figuring out all the extra cool stuff. Yeah. Check Smacks out.